start the recording. Good morning, everyone. Today is our community chat of August 18. And my name is Sandra Arevalo. I'm your host. I'm the Director of Community Health and Wellness at Montefiore Nyack Hospital. And today we're going to be talking about the skincare and how to look beautiful and youthful and anything that we need to do in order to feel better about ourselves. Actually, we had invited two people. We had invited also a dermatologist, but he couldn't make it today, unfortunately. But we have Denise, who is one of our star dietitians here in the hospital, and she has tons of tips for us to look and feel great. I have to say, look at her, how beautiful she is, and she's 82. No, I'm kidding. I just wish that I could say I'm 82 and I look like this, right? Isn't that everyone's dream? But today we're going to be talking about how to keep your skin healthy. So thank you for joining us. Please ask questions. We love for these chats to make them interactive. So you use the chat box or the Q&A, whichever way you want to communicate with me, and we will be happy to answer your questions live. If you know somebody who wanted to see this information and they didn't get to it, we're recording this webinar and we're going to post it in our montefiorenyack.org community website and also in our community chats website in YouTube. So plenty of places now where to get this information as well. So without further ado, Denise has been a guest of our show. I like to call it our show. A couple of times. That doesn't mean, Denise, that everybody knows who you are. So please, let's start with introducing yourself and telling us a little bit more about you.
Great. Thanks, Sandra, and welcome to all our participants for the community chat. And as Sandra said, I work here with her at Montefiore Nyack Hospital, and I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist for many, many years. I'm not quite 80, as Sandra introduced, but I am certainly a woman of a certain age. So this is a topic that is near and dear to my heart. In addition to being a registered dietitian nutritionist, I am also a diabetes care and education specialist. And I'm excited about this topic. I think it's something, especially in the summer, that we all have an interest in, and that is having healthy skin. Who doesn't want their skin to look and feel and be the best it possibly can? And I think, you know, what we're going to talk about today, Sandra and I are not dermatologists, right? But we are registered dietitians. And so when you think of skin health, for me, I think of internal versus external, right? And so internal are the things that we put into our bodies. And these are the things Sandra and I can talk to you about today in this chat. And, you know, that certainly makes a difference in how our skin looks. And external would probably have been a lot of what the dermatologist would have spoke to us about, but we're going to touch on a few things. And, you know, external, we think of things like sunscreen and masks and what we apply to our face, right? These are the external things that we can do to sort of make our skin look and feel its absolute best. So on that note, Sandra, what was it that you wanted to point us in the direction of first, and then we can get going?
Yeah, so you just hit the needle on the head because you were talking about things that we can do internally and externally. So let's start talking with the things that we can do internally, because, you know, I think that lots of us, you know, we hear about all these products that we can use that is like anti-wrinkle cream and exfoliating and facials and hydrating and all of that. But you know, a lot of times it's also our habits can help with having better looking skin or not, right? I'm thinking smoking, for example. It might be something that if you're a smoker and the more you smoke, the older you look because your skin is not as hydrated, I think. the sun, and you just
Mm.
mentioned the sun, right? That's another thing. But then I think there are also foods that we can eat that can help us look younger and feel better. So what foods, Denise, do you think are recommended for skincare?
Yeah, so I think that's an important topic for us to talk about. And so when Sandra and I were first talking about, this chat, and we were kind of brainstorming and thinking, what can make a difference in terms of food? And there's actually 12 foods that are considered the best foods for healthy skin. And so let's start out with one of them, and that is fatty fish. So yeah, so when we think of fatty fish, right? We're thinking of things like salmon, some of these fish that sort of have these omega-3 fatty acids, and so why are those important for our skin? And so what the research tells us is that these different types of fatty fish, salmon and mackerel, and all of these different types, they actually give us really good sources of high quality protein, omega-3s, as I said to you before, the omega-3 fatty acids, and even zinc. And so these are things that help reduce inflammation. They help to keep our skin moisturized. And so, I encourage people, think about this, think about ways to add fatty fish. Can I keep going? I have more I can tell us about, Sandra.
Where do we find fatty fish, or what do we call fatty fish, Denise? That will be salmon, you said. Any other? Because what if I don't like salmon?
Right, and I think that's an important point, because certainly not everybody likes salmon. But mackerel is another source. Some people like herring. And so, the idea, of course, is to find things you like. And it doesn't always have to be fresh, by the way. We can get these fatty fish out of a can, and they can be just as beneficial. So, whenever we're going to talk to you today about some of these foods, the key is pick things you like, and maybe retry something. Maybe you didn't like something growing up, but if you try it again today and maybe prepare it a different way than the way you were used to having it when you grew up, you might in fact find that you like it.
So that's good news. Sardines, tuna, like I like tuna, for example, like I can make a tuna sandwich for lunch or something like that. So that would be helpful, right?
Yeah, and I think even in the summer, a lot of these different types of fish, a lot of us like to eat a little bit lighter in the summer, right? When it's hot out, we're not feeling like a big heavy meal. And so you can put a lot of these things on a salad. And, in fact, some of the foods we're going to talk about today, so I'll skip ahead a minute. But if we were to make a healthy salad, and let's say we put some fatty fish on it, and maybe dice up some avocado, you're going to see that's on the list of skin health foods, and perhaps a handful of walnuts, which also, by the way, is a skin healthy food, and even some broccoli, tomatoes. So the idea is different ways to prepare things so that we can enjoy them, and certainly have them prepared in a way that suits the season, which is summertime.
Perfect. What's next?
Okay, so let's talk about avocados, one of my favorites, and I know my colleague is on this line, and he is the avocado king. And so he makes us guacamole. Sandra's holding it up.
Oh, you can really see it.
So this is guacamole, and so he is allowing me to share his secret special recipe on how he prepares it. And so basically it's pretty simple, right? You take a nice ripened avocado, add some lime to it. If you enjoy cilantro, throw that in, maybe a little salt and pepper, and then you can even dice up some tomatoes and peppers. Again, these are on the list of skin-friendly foods. And so, avocados have been shown to be a good source of vitamin E. And, we all know that vitamin E is something important, but it's also important, avocado, in making our skin. They describe it as springy, meaning it's supple when we touch it. It has this good texture and consistency to it. So avocado is good source, vitamin E, vitamin C, and important for healthy skin for sure.
And let me tell you, Denise, now that we're talking about avocados, sometimes we have those avocados that are black and we don't know what to do with them. And basically, if you smash the avocado and you do a face mask with avocado, it really hydrates and moistures your skin. And basically you're putting all those healthy oils from the avocado right on your skin. And we all know it's great for your hair as well. So you can use those black avocados, for facials, for masks, for either your face or for your hair. So you don't have to toss them away and feel bad about it.
Fantastic. And I think that kind of touches on what we said earlier, that internal versus external. So now we have a food that not only can benefit us internally, right? We consume it, it does good stuff in our bodies. But as Sandra shared, when they're super ripe and they're dark, mash them up, put them on your skin. And now that's the external way of doing good skincare and taking care of our skin. I like that one. Okay, so let's keep going. So we did 2 foods so far. We have 12 to get to. So the third food I want to encourage you to eat is walnuts. Walnuts also are a good source of omega-3 fatty acids, and they as well help to reduce inflammation in the body, even the skin. And remember, everyone, skin is an organ, right? So it's one of the largest organs we have. And so just like we try to take care of our internal organs, like our heart and our liver, the skin is an external organ. And so all these things we're talking about are good for taking care of the skin. And so walnuts, in addition, are a good source of zinc, vitamin E, selenium, and protein. So that might be something you can put on your salads. You can eat walnuts as a snack. I know a lot of people like to add it to their cereal, right? So if you have oatmeal or some kind of cereal, it's a nice addition.
And if you make smoothies, you can put them in smoothies as well and blend them with the smoothies. I like to do that because I like the flavor, crush them too. And I know I'm gonna say something I shouldn't, but I like to crush them and put them on top of a little ice cream or dessert, and cakes. You can use them with cakes as well. And there is now walnut butter too. So you can look for that. There's almond butter, walnut butter. So those are other sources on how you can eat walnuts.
Nice, amazing. Remember, once upon a time, everyone, there was only peanut butter. And here we are today in 2022, and we know that there is peanut butter, almond butter. Sandra just said walnut butter, which I have not even tried. I have seen cashew butter as well. So, lots of variety, lots of different things that we can try. So number 4 on our list of foods that we want to add to our diet to take good care of our skin, sunflower seeds. Sunflower seeds, believe it or not, have also a lot of skin boosting nutrients. And so they're a good source of vitamin E. So we keep hearing this, right? Vitamin E is a nice antioxidant, and it is certainly good for the skin. Sandra, any tips on what you like for sunflower seeds? Is there any foods you add them to?
I actually like to eat them as a snack and add them to salads as well. That's just basically it. I don't know how else to eat them.
Yeah, I think that's good. Those would be my top favorites too, putting them on a salad. And I think they're really nice to have as a snack. And, in the summer when it's so hot and we want to, we're going to talk about staying hydrated as well. Sunflower seeds, you can get them lightly salted. So that's a good way when we're sweating a lot, to sort of replace some of that as well.
And you can do them in a trial mix too, like, especially like if you add some dry fruits like raisins or craisins, it makes a nice combination, especially if they are lightly salted. You get like that sweet salt taste is really good too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's good. Yeah, and another food, number 5 on our list of 12, is sweet potatoes. So sweet potatoes, believe it or not, have good stuff in them for our skin. And they have something called beta carotene. I think everybody's familiar with that. That's kind of, that orange color that's in there. And so this beta carotene is, believe it or not, can actually act almost as a natural sunblock. And it might even protect your skin from sun damage. Now, that being said, just full disclosure, you still need to use sunscreen. So I don't want you to leave here and say, oh, I ate some sweet potatoes, that's my sunblock. No, we need sunscreen. And I think any dermatologist will tell you that we should not leave the house in the summer months without applying, good sunscreen. And so for women, we should wear it under our makeup. Sun is probably the biggest culprit of damage to our skin. And I think this is a good time to give a plug. It's so important that we all go once a year, see your dermatologist, and what they'll do is a full body skin exam. And they will examine your body from head to toe. They will look in your scalp, they will look at your nails. And doing this once a year, that's where a lot of skin cancers are caught. I can't tell you how many family members I've had myself that, on a routine skin exam, they found something in their scalp that was a skin cancer and they caught it early. And there are so many procedures they can do today to treat and get rid of these things. So important. Sunscreen and getting those yearly skin exams from a dermatologist.
Now you're talking about sweet potatoes, Denise. I don't know, do you have carrots also in your list?
So carrots did not make the cut, but as you say that, I have to think that absolutely, why not? Probably the sweet potatoes may have ranked a little higher is my guess, but I think carrots are certainly a good source of beta carotene and something good to snack on, right? The baby carrots are terrific to just munch on in between the meals, and also to add to salads. I think we've been creating these really healthy salads and all this good stuff that we can put in there.
Just let me tell you, there is nothing I love more than freshly squeezed orange and carrot juice. It's delicious. And here is another trick. If you drink orange juice, not orange juice, carrot juice, right before you go to the beach, even though you still have to use your very high sunscreen, right? You can get that golden color. You know how some of us just get red and some people get that glow, orange, carrots.
Carrot juice.
And I imagine sweet potatoes, yes. And some people actually what they do is they apply the carrot juice for tanning. So on top of your sun block, just do that, and that helps to protect your skin, but also it gives it that nice glow, golden look that some of us like. I don't like the orangey red look that you look like a shrimp. Nah. But some people get a very nice tan, and that has a lot to do with vitamin A that you find in sweet potatoes and carrots.
Very good. And you just reminded me of something, Sandra, when you said that, that applying that to the skin to get that glow. Look, let's face it, we all like to look good in the summer, and we all know that going in the sun and getting a tan, it's just not the best thing for us. But I actually did ask my dermatologist on one of my yearly skin exams if using those natural tanners that you can buy in the store, if they're okay. And he said, yes, they absolutely are. So there are a lot of self tanners. So if you're looking to get that healthy glow and perhaps you don't have the food Sandra said to rub on your skin, you can buy these self tanners in the store, apply them to your skin, and it can make you feel like you have that healthy glow without getting all the harmful, ultraviolet rays that we get from the sun in the summer. Yeah.
Denise, let me ask you, have you ever used any of those?
I have. So what I'll tell you is this. Being a woman of a certain age, I tried them when I was young in my teens, and they were awful. You'd put them on, you'd look orange, and they were the worst. Well, I don't know what the scientists have done in the lab, but these days there are many brands that you could buy inexpensively in the drugstore, and they make you look tan. I mean, you're not going to have, this deep dark tan, but they can just give you that healthy glow that you're looking for. So yeah, I'm a fan, and I will tell you that, full disclosure, I do use them, and I just think it gives your skin a healthy look without the harm.
Yeah, and I'm just asking because I only tried it once. Actually, I was gonna go to a wedding, and it was like in February, something like that, and you're so white. And basically, I ended up staining all my clothes, the chair where I was sitting, everything. It was horrible. I felt so bad.
Oh my
So
goodness.
that's what I'm asking, because maybe something that is better, I don't know.
Yeah, no, there are. Listen, first of all, I think when you use them, you certainly don't want to be putting on white right afterwards. So use them when you're kind of going to be home, and you can put on something that you don't really care about clothing wise. But they are better, and you just have to experiment with different brands. I know I can't name brands on this chat, but experiment, and start off easy. Don't go crazy and apply it 4 times a day. Just do, a light little coat. Okay, we ready for the next food, Sandra? Yes. All right, number 6, red or yellow bell peppers. And again, these can be added to salads, to the guacamole recipe I gave you before from the Guacamole King. And bell peppers are a good source of beta carotene, vitamin C, and these are all such necessary vitamins and nutrients to keep our skin healthy and looking its absolute best. Okay, what's that?
I'm thinking pepper steak.
Oh, pepper steak. Hey, that's right. That's right. And that could be a good summer food. And that might be nice with a nice big salad as well, or with some sweet potatoes on the side.
Right. What's the next one? We're at number 7 now?
We are at number 7. Number 7 is broccoli. And broccoli has something called beta carotene as well, but it also has something called lutein. And lutein can protect our skin from oxidation, which can, cause wrinkles and dryness. And so it's a good source, broccoli, of vitamins and minerals, carotenoids, all of these things. It also has something which I actually forgot, but it's something called sulforaphane. And this is actually something that protects our skin from skin cancer and even from sunburns. So get your broccoli in. One of my favorite recipes for broccoli is I like to roast it. So I cut it up, put it on a sheet pan, toss it with a little bit of olive oil, a nice extra virgin olive oil, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. I even like crushed red pepper on it, and 400 degrees in the oven for about 20 minutes, and it comes out delicious. Gets a nice, crispiness to it. And so that's a good way to get some broccoli in. Number 8 on the list, tomatoes. Tomatoes also good nutrients, beta carotene, lutein, lycopenes, right? That's what I think of mostly when I think of tomatoes. Vitamin C, and again, all these things, protection from sun damage, can help prevent wrinkling. I don't know about you, but who doesn't want to prevent wrinkling as we get older? And so these are a really good source as well. Sandra, I'll ask you, tomatoes, any favorite ways you like to eat your tomatoes?
I love a caprese salad
Mm.
with the tomatoes and the fresh mozzarella cheese. But tomatoes you can use everywhere, right? You can put them in pizzas, salsa, stews, soups, everywhere. So, and they are pretty much inexpensive. So, hey, many ways to eat tomatoes.
Yeah, and this is the season, right? So for any of you who have gardens or you grow things in pots, this is the season for tomatoes. And I'll just add one more to Sandra's ideas. I like to make in the summer paninis. So paninis are Italian sandwiches, and basically, you get some good bread and put inside whatever you like. I like mozzarella in there as well, and put some sliced tomatoes and just grill it, right? Whether I have a counter grill at home, so I just use a George Foreman grill on the counter. And that's another great way to get those tomatoes in.
Perfect. Pasta.
Oh, pasta, yeah, absolutely. Great source. Okay, number 9 on the list, we're getting there, is soy. And so soy has something called isoflavones. And, particularly women, as we go through menopause, our body changes and we lose the ability of our natural estrogen. And so soy has these compounds called isoflavones, and these are sort of your body's natural way of trying to create a little bit more estrogen. And why are these important? Because, isoflavones, having enough estrogen in our body, improves wrinkles, it improves our collagen production, the dryness of our skin. And so all of these things can help and give some healthy skin. Soy you can get either from certain types of foods, those of you who like tofu. There's even things like soy nuts out there that are dried. Edamame, which is, the Japanese, way of eating soy, which is very tasty as well. So, give it a try. This is something that you can do that can absolutely enhance skin health as well.
And a lot of people don't like tofu in particular, but because it's pretty bland. So I have to agree. But the good thing is that you can season tofu whichever way you want. And because it's bland, it's going to take all the seasoning. So I invite people to try tofu and just prepare it like you would prepare anything else, add the seasonings that you like. And you're gonna taste pretty much the seasoning and not the tofu no more. So it's a good food to have.
Excellent. Yeah. And even the like you said, there's no flavor to it. And soy milk can be the same way. You can try soy milk. You can use it perhaps to your point about smoothies before. You can use it to make a smoothie. And so if you add all these other ingredients to the smoothie, the soy is almost just the liquid base. And so that can be a way if you're looking to get these isoflavones into your diet. Number 10 is one of my favorite, dark chocolate. Isn't that exciting? Dark chocolate can actually be good for your skin. Now, the key is we want something that has enough of these cocoa ingredients, right? And so when you're choosing dark chocolate, look for something that has at least 70% of cocoa, right? Because then we know we're going to really be getting enough of these healthy compounds that are in the cocoa. And, cocoa is an antioxidant. It can protect your skin from sunburn. These type of antioxidants, again, same message here, improve wrinkles, hydration, and your skin texture. So, so number 10 is dark chocolate.
Which you could melt and add to those walnuts.
There you go. I love it. We're multitasking these foods, aren't we?
Yeah. So you just, you melt the dark chocolate and then you put the walnuts in the dark chocolate. You make your own dark chocolate with walnuts, and now you got 2 in 1.
Oh, I love that. That's fantastic. I also like to do this goes in a smoothie. And if everybody remembers the Hershey's chocolate baking powder, it's sold in the supermarket. It has nothing in it except pure cocoa powder, right? And I add that to my smoothie because it gives the chocolate flavor. Now you still have to add something for a little sweetness, so I'll use banana to add that sweetness. But yeah, it's a great thing that you can add. So you can see we're really multitasking these foods. And okay, number 11 on the list is green tea. Green tea has something called catechins, and these are powerful antioxidants. So this is good to protect our skin from sun damage. It can reduce redness in the skin, and again, good for hydration. So green tea, whether it's iced, whether you drink it hot, but this is another good thing to protect the skin and improve in terms of aging.
Mhm. And not only green tea, but every tea, you know, it's good with inflammation. So if you wake up and your eyes are very swollen or you have a lot of dark circles, you know, putting wet, warm tea bags on your eyes for like 5 minutes helps with inflammation as well. So that's a little trick.
That's a good trick. And I will tell you, I have tried that, Sandra. You know, in my family, we all inherited this trait of having these puffy eyes. No matter what we do, I think it's just a genetic thing in our genes. And so I would do that. I would take tea bags, as Sandra said, and I would put them in the refrigerator, let them get cold. And you kind of just lay down, put those on your eyes, sit, relax for about 5 minutes. And it does. It actually can reduce some of that puffiness or inflammation, and it's a natural product that you can do, which is great. Okay, number 12 on our list of foods that are good for healthy skin: red grapes. So when I was reading this and researching this, I thought, well, everybody's going to say, why can't I just drink wine? Red wine is made from red grapes. But I will encourage you to do the grapes, because wine is actually dehydrating, and for our skin, we're looking for hydration. And so red grapes have something called resveratrol, and this is a pretty powerful antioxidant. It's believed to help in the aging process. It helps in terms of the free radicals that can damage our skin. And so red grapes, there's so many ways to get those into your diet. In the summer, I know a lot of people like to freeze them, you know, and it's a refreshing snack. So a lot of those 100-degree days we had last week, you know, snacking on some frozen red grapes is certainly a great way to stay hydrated and enjoy. So those were the 12 foods that will help everybody to have healthy skin.
You just mentioned wine, Denise, and it's true, especially red wine. It has some flavonoids in them that is supposed to be antioxidant, and it's part of the Mediterranean diet, which is, you know, one of the best out there for you in all terms, you know, for heart disease protection, looking younger, all of that. But I also think that it depends on the amount of wine that you're drinking, you know, especially for women, you should not drink more than 1 glass of wine. For men, no more than 2. But, you know, if you drink too much, actually what happens is that all the alcohol is going to go to your liver. And now your liver actually helps with detoxing your body. So if you don't have a healthy liver, a lot of those toxins that we eat and we put in our body, not just from foods, but air, medications that we take, all of those byproducts, they're going to stay in our body. And believe it or not, a lot of them are going to go in our circulation and show up on our face. So we have somebody that says any food that you should avoid at all costs. I will say drinking too much. That's something that you should avoid at all costs. We mentioned smoking before. I don't think that there is a food per se, but there are some habits, right, that don't help our skin. Sleep is another very important habit. So it's recommended to have at least 7 hours of sleep. I know some people need more than 7. I know some people, I am fine with 6 hours of sleep, but you really need to sleep an amount where when you wake up, you feel refreshed, right? That you're not tired anymore, because there are some mornings that you're like, oh my God, I need 2 more hours. You're gonna look all day like you needed 2 more hours of sleep. So you really need to get the right amount of sleep. And then also like a clean, or how do you call it, cleaning routine for your skin. Like you have to, especially if you're a woman and if you wear makeup and all of that, it's very important to wash your face and remove all these products so that your face can breathe again, you know, that you're not clogging your pores. And that also use moisturizer, talking about, you know, you spoke about the inner side. Here I am speaking a little bit about the outer side, outer care of the skin. You know, you need your skin to breathe. So cleansing your skin, hydrating, drinking lots and lots of water for hydration. How much water do you suggest we drink, Denise?
Yes, I would say so. There's a couple of rules of thumb on how much to drink to stay hydrated. One that I like that is pretty simple is drink half of your weight in water ounces. So let's say, you know, somebody weighed 200 pounds. Half of their weight would be 100 ounces of water per day. So that's a rough rule, but it could certainly be a starting point for you. I think another rule is looking at the color of your urine. You know, they say if we're well enough hydrated, that the color should be a very pale yellow, right? So if it's darker, it means haven't had enough to drink. And so guess what? You have time in the day to increase your hydration to improve that. So I think either of those are good guidelines. You know, I know in the old days, we used to always tell people 8 glasses a day, but 8 glasses a day may not be the right recipe for every person, right? Somebody who weighs 100 pounds versus somebody who weighs 200 pounds, their needs might be a little bit different.
Mm-hmm. And then, you know, there are also some exercises, because no matter what, you have muscles on your face, and daily we kind of use the same muscles, right? Like when we talk, when we eat. So it's a lot of these parts of the face, but we don't use a lot of other muscles, and they start kind of sagging. So we need to exercise our face as well and do all kinds of crazy faces, and we can try to move all your muscles in your face too on a daily basis to keep them strong, right?
Absolutely. And I think I've read numerous times, you know, a lot of times women are trying to improve their neck as they age. And so there she goes. So putting jutting. Yes, jutting out
you find a lot of these exercises. They look really funny. I will be cracking up myself doing them, but hey, if they help, why not? You know. And I think that lastly, what I would like to say is, you know, actually, I'm going to share a little bit of a story. And, you know, if you follow the community chats, you know that I like to share stories sometimes. And some, you know, I was very hot the other day. I was at a conference and I was the only one who didn't have a sweater on in a room that was definitely cold. And I was like, I might be getting menopause or something, because I don't need a sweater and everybody here needs a sweater. What's going on? And then I started thinking, how lucky am I? You know, because really getting to a certain age, that means you've lived. That means that you have a life and you've had opportunities, right? Like so many people, unfortunately, die young, and that's very sad. So I thought, okay, if I'm getting there, really good for me, kudos to me, you know, and it made me feel better. So I think that also embracing age is very important. Yes, we all want to look young forever, but that's not the reality. The reality is we're going to start looking our age, older age. And so what? It's like, as long as we love ourselves and we like what we see, and you know, what everybody says is most important what we have inside than what we have outside. And the way we look is not always the most important thing. You could look gorgeous and be a mean person that nobody loves. So it's just an invitation that yes, we want to look beautiful. We want everybody to look beautiful, but that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is always what's inside of you. And if we're lucky, we're going to live a long life and look older one day.
Absolutely. I love that message. And I think, for me, I know every morning when I wake up, somebody taught me this way back, and it kind of goes right along with what you're saying. And that is, when you wake up in the morning, say in your head or out loud 3 things that you're grateful for, right? 3 things. And to your point, I woke up another day, here I am. So, and I do believe attitude makes a difference, right? How we think, how we feel, it comes through certainly externally as well. And so it's kind of all part of this package of what we're talking about today, and being our absolute best.
Yeah, and I've always said that, age is not in your date of birth, it's really how you feel. Because I know, listen, as a matter of fact, I knew this woman. I always think of her. She was in her 80s. She used to come to her appointments with her son, who was in his 50s. The son looked a lot older than her. He was sicker than her, but he had this old man attitude, while she was like a 15-year-old in an 80-year-old body. She used to go dancing every weekend. She liked to date, and she's like, I'm not that yet, hilarious. I used to love when she came to see me because she's hilarious. And, that's the attitude to have. It's like, if we feel young, we're going to look young.
Absolutely. I think a good message for sure for all of us. I had one more last recipe. I just looked at some of my notes. And so if we have a minute, it's kind of in line with what Sandra was talking about, the external. And so this was a skin brightening DIY face mask. And so I'll share it with you in case any of you want to try this at home for improving what your skin looks like. So you take a teaspoon of turmeric, a teaspoon of honey, a teaspoon of milk, kind of stir that all up, adjust the milk till you get the right consistency where it's like a paste, and mix it up, put it on your face, go lay down somewhere and relax for 15 to 20 minutes and rinse it off, moisturize, and if you're going outside, put that sunscreen on.
That's great. Thank you so much for sharing. And next week, this month, actually, we are celebrating Breastfeeding Month, and also Kids Eat Right Month. So I think that is actually goes hand in hand.
That's it.
Anyway, breastfeeding is the topic of our next week's community chat. We're talking about breastfeeding myths and facts. And hopefully I'll see you there next week. Thank you, Denise.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for all those foods. Now I feel like eating a big salad. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.